Let's get into the Monday morning Got Your Back mandate with Shoggy.
Timberlake rocks.
Is that a mandate of yours?
God, what are we talking about here? Good question. Can some of it be about sports? Yeah. All he needs to do is just get in front of people and state his case. If they had the mandate from the people, blah, 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 I don't know where that information came from, but I would question it.
Time for the morning mandate with Ryan Rishaug.
This is what sports broadcasting is all about.
You know what? That may be a good point, Ryan.
You broke the story, Ryan.
Rishaug is one giant 6'2" pile of Charmin.
Got Your Back, all podcasting platforms. Shog and Strutty dropping a new episode last night after the game. Check out gybpod.com/YEG. And I believe Ryan Rishaug made the executive decision and gave Rob Brown the night off because he wasn't feeling well. Is that correct,
Yeah,
Shoggy?
he hopped in, and it was pretty funny. Actually, I was listening to his postgame show on Ched with Reed, and I was thinking,
could you tell?
I feel like Brownie might not make it. He had one of those situations where he didn't know when his voice was going to crack.
Oh, no.
So he was already talking like this. And then everyone, and it was just gone. Like there was just nothing there. He couldn't, no matter how hard he pushed, get it to grab. And I'm listening. I'm thinking, yeah, he's not making it. So he hopped into the chat.
He showed up,
like,
hey? God.
He showed
what a
up.
guy.
For sure he showed up. Like he's a gamer. He's willing. And I was like, Brownie, you don't have to do this, man. Like you don't have to do this. And he kind of wanted to try. And I'm like, you got to take the night off, bud. So yeah, Brownie wasn't with us last night, but he was on Saturday night. And
well, no shortage of things to discuss anyway.
Yeah, I'm 1,000% he's watching today. Percent sure he's watching today. So feel better, Brownie. I know he's a big consumer of all things online. Guy doesn't even have Twitter. Doesn't have Twitter.
What a saint.
He doesn't even have Twitter. Man, that's got to be a nice life.
I know.
Hey,
I know. Hey,
very jealous.
He has no idea who played good and who played bad. That's unbelielievable. How does he do it?
know? Wait
How
a
does he
minute.
do it?
You formed your own opinion without the input of thousands of angry fans. By the way, I'm automated here.
Go on, Ryan. Yeah.
I got your back. Next level automation. So did you notice I was checking my headroom? I can push a button. And oh, look at that. Headroom goes up.
What is this?
Push a button. Headroom goes down.
Unbelievable.
Like that?
Man, you must spend a lot of time sitting in that office tinkering, eh, Shoggy? Like,
Throw a little light on. I love technology. I'm such a technology dork. I love
is that a
this stuff.
backlight? Did you just throw on a backlight?
Yeah, just backlit myself. Yep. Yeah.
My
just
goodness.
Like that.
I feel like you're inventing a time machine over there. Guys, check
Almost.
it out. I'll talk to you in 2027. What?
Yeah.
This is amazing. This is good.
I'll let you know how this all worked out.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
end. All of
That's
these
right.
ventures we all went on.
I like.
By
I
the
like,
way,
I like
watch
to
Roadhouse 2.
Oh, you did?
You go? Yeah.
No, I was
yeah.
going to say, I like the idea of you actually inventing new technology. Not just finding it and learning how to use it, but being like, check this out, guys.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be cool.
An ideas guy, for sure.
Yeah. So did you watch Roadhouse 2?
I did.
What'd you think? It's not the original. We know that.
No, Conor McGregor was ridiculously stupid.
Yeah. Yes.
He was an immense disappointment in that movie. And I know he's not an actor, so it's not even his fault. But somebody needed to go, are we going to have him walk like that in this movie? And somebody that knows needed to go, are we going to let him talk like that and smile like a moron through the whole thing?
Oh, he was so bad.
Like they were apparently afraid to give him notes. Because it's like he just walked in there and just did this acting thing. I know how to do this. It was like no one gave him any notes on what it should look or sound like.
He was bad.
So
I thought Gyllenhaal was good.
Gyllenhaal was okay. I didn't quite
even like
understand
Gyllenhaal?
his character. Like at the beginning of the movie, he's ready to just end it all, and yet he's like happy and smiley. And was he a little cracked?
Yeah,
like,
that's a
is
good
that
point.
his thing? He was. I don't know.
It was
So many holes. In
I
that
think
movie.
I think I liked it as a movie if I don't know about the first Roadhouse. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Because some of the action was pretty good. I thought the action was pretty good. Some of the fight scenes were okay, but so you're giving it like a 4 out of 10?
I'll give it a 5. I'm not going to fail it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. The core movie itself probably is a 6 1/4.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor brought that down to a 5.
He did. He was that bad, man. It was Conor McGregor should not. I would have liked to have seen it with an actor as a villain that could have maybe cranked it up a notch. Like overall as a movie, McGregor was a drag on it for sure.
How's your bracket doing, Ryan?
Is it too late to put one together?
Did you not fill one out or?
No, I bet guys, I got a project on the go. I just announced it last night on the pod. You guys will like this.
Are you building something?
Oh, I'm building something. I'm building things, Dusty.
Oh no!
I'm building things.
What are you doing now?
I am building fun things.
What are you doing?
Ready for it?
Yes.
Ready for it? Garage golf simulator.
Oh my God. Is that necessary? Do you need this?
Oh, it's so necessary, dude. It is so necessary.
Okay, so you have a garage.
I do.
Okay, so you don't have to at least build the garage. I'd worry about you on that one.
No.
So you're just gonna take a vehicle out of the garage, and then
there's a bit of a family sacrifice happening. So there's a lot of love and appreciation.
Yeah, it's not like you have a big family, Ryan.
yeah, exactly. Not like you need those spots.
Yeah.
So I apologize to my neighborhood. Now 7 cars out on the street. Apologize to my wife. I am now anytime it snows, I'm like, I got the brush, and I'm heading outside to brush off cars and stuff because the garage, it's, let's be honest, it's not real. I mean, I've got tools and stuff in there. I've got things hanging on the wall. Don't know how to use most of it. I'm pretending for when my brothers come over.
Yeah.
It's now actually going to get some use in there. So I'm excited.
Oh, wow. So early stages?
Fairly early stage. Well, today, projector's coming today. I got the screen mocked up. So today's the day where we size the image, and then you build the screen around the best image you can get from the projector. So, buddy, I have been all over YouTube watching like hours of YouTube videos on the best way to do this stuff.
I just imagine you screwing up and hammering balls into the drywall in your garage and be like, damn it, what have I done? Yeah. Well, best of luck on that, buddy. I look forward to the updates.
Yeah, thanks, pal.
Yeah,
it'll be good. I'll send you pics.
Yeah. All right, we better get to the Oilers. We delayed long enough. Let's start with Saturday. I mean, kind of a 40-minute no-show, and then too little, too late when it's all said and done. What really stood out to you about what they didn't have going against the Leafs?
What really stood out to me? 2 points aside, the fundamental issue I had with that game is I don't think they did a good enough job pushing back when their stars were getting shoved around. I didn't like his. So 2 points is 2 points, and yes, they needed the 2 points and mistakes and all those things. Overarching thought on that night, what stands out to me is they let their guys get shoved around, and not enough guys were in the fight. And I'm not saying that everybody had to drop their gloves and punch each other in the head. That's not what I'm saying. But there needed to be noticeable pushback from every player in that lineup that night when it started to get as intense on 97 and 29 as it did. When that happens, and frankly, anybody, when a team is trying to impose its will on you, you need to stiffen up and you need to push back and you need to say, no, you don't play like that against us because we have the guys that can manage that. Now, we know Desharnais, who would be a big part of that, has been a little banged up. Maybe it's a hand issue, but I'm looking at just about everybody through that lineup. I'm looking at Cody Ceci, who is as strong an Oiler as there is. There's just nothing there on that front. I'm looking at Carrick, who's very willing, but needed to be engaged in that game. I'm looking at Warren Fogle. I'm looking at the list is basically everybody needed to push back. And I don't think they did a good enough job early enough. After 40 minutes, it was kind of like meh, whatever. After that, it was sort of just, it was just an afterthought at that point. But the Leafs threw down a gauntlet early in that game, and I don't think the Oilers picked it up. I think they just let it lay at their feet, and that would be part of what I would take away.
Let's keep it going, Ryan. Again, yesterday in Ottawa, they allow a team coming into that game 25th on power play percentage to go 75%. What type of pushback or lack thereof did we not see yesterday? I mean, a few calls, Korpisalo playing a good game, but this is one where you thought, okay, if there's no pushback Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, Leafs big show, you're going to get that response. And, I think times it's not like they got blown out, but a really bad taste left in one's mouth following yesterday as opposed to like a Saturday night, two juggernauts going at it.
Yeah, you got to kill a penalty.
Yeah.
Or you're not going anywhere, right? And you need to get some saves. And, their goalie's been good, man. Like, he has been good. But Pickard needed to do better than he did last night. So if you're not going to get saves and you can't kill a penalty, you're pooched. And the Oilers absolutely pooched themselves last night by not being able to kill penalties. Sam Carrick is here to win faceoffs on the penalty kill and to be physical. And he was and to kill penalties well. And he didn't do his job last night. There was a long list of players. I'll single him out a little bit there because it's that specific duty that he has. Pickard wasn't good enough. Yeah, and I think that, Nugent Hopkins hits a couple of posts. Oilers could have easily had a few more goals, but they got goalied a little bit. But the way you manage getting goalied is you don't give as much up at the other end. And so penalty kill killed them. Their goalie didn't help them, and they got goalied. So it was an ugly one where the ice was tilted, but the result wasn't what they were looking for. So not ideal, man. Not ideal.
The Ottawa, 3 goals in 38 seconds of power play time on the 3 power plays they scored on. It was just win the face-off score. Win the face-off score. Win the face. It was, that was pretty crazy last night. What do you, the blender's been out a little bit here. I know yesterday without Kane, I guess it was required for sure. Henrique slides up. But, when they went on the heater, I think Knobloch was getting, and rightfully so, a lot of praise, kind of was sticking with things quite a bit. Do you think the blender's out a little bit too much, or is this necessary from the coach right now with the group?
Yeah, so here's what I would say. I was thinking about this before I came on this morning because I take 5 minutes of quiet time and concentrate on the points I want to make here on the show. It's that important to me. And during my 5 minutes of concentration, I thought, overarching, listening to Oiler fans, there's a lot of angst right now because there are holes in this team and they're feeling the angst of the holes they clearly see game in, game out of this team, right winger and defenseman and all this. And they're like, oh, what does it mean? Right. And I think that's reasonable and fair. So what areas are there truly to be concerned about heading to the playoffs? One of the best teams in the league this year went on an unbelievable run. Some dips lately. What truly are areas of concern? And Dusty, I think you just nailed one of them, and I'll go bigger picture than just recently. One of the biggest concerns I have about this team heading into the postseason is they have no top 9 line formation and chemistry. They don't. They don't have any consistent lines that are working. They don't have any pairings that are working really well together. They don't have a set lineup that is clearly their go-to set lineup. They're all over the map. They're trying to figure out if it's Nugent Hopkins with McDavid and Nugent Hopkins on the third line and this and that, and guys being bounced all over the place. And I understand Chris Knobloch's trying to find it. He's got new players and he's trying to find it, but they need to find it. It's time for them to find it and to give some formation 10 days and, 4, 5, 6, 7 games over a 2-week period to find it, because they're going into the playoffs where you need reliability. You need lines to have clear identities, and it's pretty messy right now. That's pretty high on my list of things that I'd be concerned about if I were an Oiler fan heading towards the playoffs. Is they got no line chemistry happening.
It is crazy that we're at this point and still. Now, I guess they did bring in Henrique, so it would throw a little bit of a wrench into things. But
maintenance day throws a wrench into things,
too.
With
Kane, too, I guess.
Kane hasn't really been.
But we've talked about it with Kane. I mean, maintenance day or not maintenance day.
No, yeah.
I'm not necessarily sure where he fits. Right?
When was the last time? By the way, when was the last time you ever heard a player being scratched from a game for a maintenance day? That language is weird to me.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to traffic in any conspiracy theories or anything like that. All I'm going to say is, if that was a day where Evander Kane was not available to play because of injury, they needed to say that. He's got a lower body injury. He's got an upper body injury. When you scratch a player and call it a maintenance day, you take a maintenance day off practice.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was like, what are you yeah, but Matt, usually practice maintenance days, right?
I have never heard of a player being scratched to take a maintenance day. I haven't. So it just either Chris Knobloch needs to change the language that he's using there so that you don't have people who cover the team and pay attention to this stuff all the time going, what?
Yeah, just say upper body.
They're already vague enough with the
upper
injury.
Body,
Yeah,
lower
you can
body,
just say that. It's fine.
Injury, just like if you want to let people know nothing's going on here, this is just strictly injury related, then say that upper body, lower body. But maintenance day to take a game to not play in a game is weird to me.
Where do you think he fits in the 9 right now?
He needs to be in the top 6.
Yeah.
Evander Kane, for this team to get where it needs to go, Evander Kane needs to be playing excellent hockey next to Leon or Connor. That's the formation. That's what is required.
That's how it's always been meant to be, right? That's always been the plan.
It is. And when he played his best hockey, he was next to McDavid, and it was in the playoffs, and he was just piling up the goals, remember?
Yeah.
So they've been trying lately. right? They had him in the top 6. They had him up there. They had him with McDavid. I believe that's where they need to land for game 1 of the playoffs. This 71-37 on the flanks of Draisaitl, I'm not buying it for playoff time, guys. I'm just not buying it for playoff time. It's not good enough. Those players are too inconsistent. Their games come and go. Their production comes and goes. That's not top 6 success in the playoffs. Evander Kane needs to play better, and he needs to be in the top 6, and he needs to develop some chemistry. It's a huge issue that he and Leon Draisaitl have not been able to click.
Yeah, there's just nothing there, right? There's nothing there.
It's the chemistry is not there on ice. It's just, and that's a big problem for them because one of the best lines in the league this year was Nugent Hopkins on left with McDavid and Hyman. Kane needs to work next to Draisaitl, and it just hasn't.
And it goes a long way.
So
your top 9 thing, that's kind of where.
Well, if that works, then the rest of it kind of sorts itself out.
Yeah.
Right. Then you could play McLeod, Henrique, and Fogel together if you wanted.
They've got a lot of
play
qualified
Corey Perry on the
players,
right side with those guys.
Yes, they've got a lot of qualified third-line players. They do. They do not have enough qualified top 6 players. Evander Kane is a qualified top 6 player. He can't be on the third. The Oilers need all of the top 6 skill they can muster playing in their top 6 when it matters the most. So Kane's game, last few games, a little more jam, finishing checks, playing with a bit more emotion, whether he's pissed at the refs or whatever, doesn't matter. Yeah. I've noticed that. He's been trying to engage a little bit more, but the production has just completely dried up, right? Was he 16 games? I think he's got
he hasn't scored since February 19th.
Yeah, man. Like, that is not okay for him, right?
He's paid to score.
He is. He needs to be doing more.
Yeah.
Now, people will point to Nugent Hopkins, too. His production has not been where it needs to be. He could easily have 2 goals in his last 2 games, for sure. But Ryan Nugent-Hopkins offensively needs to get things going a little bit more, for sure. And Evander Kane has to leave no doubt in his coach's mind that I am a top 6 forward. That solves a problem for them. And as long as he underperforms and doesn't play like a top 6 forward, it creates a massive problem for this head coach.
It's going to be an interesting week. Jets and Kings should be a lot of fun. Shoggy, we appreciate the time, man. You get back at it with the old golf simulator, man. We'll get an update next Monday.
Oh, I know. I'm just waiting for the doorbell to ring if it's Amazon. I'm like, is that
how big a package is this that's coming? I like the idea of the whole golf simulator comes in a huge package like that Amazon house.
You just unwrap it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm building it. I'm building it myself. Like the pieces. So the pieces I'm getting, the projector I've bought, right? I'm not going to build a projector, Dusty. I'm good.
So are you building like an enclosed sort of area?
Yes. Wow. I'm building the enclosure. All I have is the screen. Yeah. And I'm building the frame for it. It's got to be retractable so that it can go raise up to the ceiling and back. No kidding. I'm not mucking around here. Building the sides. I'm spending a little bit of money, right? The computer you need, the
you're not messing around.
The launch monitor, all that. I'm not going to build my own launch monitor. I thought about it. But what I am gonna, the surface that you hit off of, right? There's a few things you got to spend some money on, but it's going to be a lot of DIY stuff. So I'm going to be that guy in the video that launches a ball that ricochets right back and hits me in the forehead and knocks me out.
I was going to say nuts, but it's happening.
Shot,
it's happening one way or the other. All right, buddy. Well, good luck with that. I look forward to the injury updates.
All right, sounds good. Have a great day, guys.